The Master and his apostles remained near Emathus for almost 3 weeks. The apostles continued to preach twice daily to the multitude, and Jesus preached publicly each Sabbath afternoon and to the apostles each evening. Andrew was much occupied with the task of adjusting the constantly recurring misunderstandings and disagreements between the disciples of John and the newer disciples of Jesus. Serious situations would arise every few days, but Jesus refused to participate in any of these conferences. Neither would he give advice about the proper adjustment to these difficulties. When Andrew came to Jesus with these questions, he would always say,
"It is not wise for the host to participate in the family troubles of his guests. A wise parent never takes sides in the petty quarrels of his own children."
While sojourning in Emathus, Jesus spent much time with the apostles instructing them in the new concept of God. Again and again did he impress upon them that God is a father, not a great and supreme bookkeeper who is chiefly engaged in making damaging entries against his erring children on earth. The Jews had long conceived of God as a king over all, even as a father of the nation, but never before had large numbers of mortal men held the idea of God as a loving father of the individual.
Who is this God of the kingdom?
God is your Father, and religion, my gospel, is nothing more nor less than believing recognition of the truth that you are his Son, and I am here among you in the flesh to make clear both of these ideas in my life and teachings.
One of the most eventful of all the evening conferences at Emathus was the session having to do with the discussion of spiritual unity. James Zebedee had asked,
"Master, how shall we learn to see alike and thereby enjoy more harmony among ourselves?"
James, when did I teach you that you should all see alike? I have come into the world to proclaim spiritual liberty to the end that mortals may be empowered to live individual lives of originality and freedom before God. I do not desire that social harmony and fraternal peace shall be purchased by the sacrifice of free personality and spiritual originality. What I require of you, my apostles, is spirit unity, and that you can experience in the joy of your united dedication to the wholehearted doing of the will of my Father in heaven. You do not have to see alike, or feel alike, or even think alike in order to spiritually be alike. Spiritual unity is derived from the consciousness that each of you is indwelt and increasingly dominated by the spirit gift of the Heavenly Father. Your apostolic harmony must grow out of the fact that the spirit hope of each of you is identical in origin, nature, and destiny. In this way, you may experience a perfected unity of spirit purpose and spirit understanding, growing out of the mutual consciousness of the identity of each of your indwelling paradise spirits. And you may enjoy all of this profound spiritual unity in the very face of the utmost diversity of your individual attitudes of intellectual thinking, temperamental feeling, and social conduct. Your personalities may be refreshingly diverse and markedly different, while your spiritual natures and spirit fruits of divine worship and brotherly love may be so unified that all who behold your lives will of a surety take cognizance of this spirit identity and soul unity. They will recognize that you have been with me and have thereby learned, and acceptably, how to do the will of the Father in heaven. You can achieve the unity of service of God even while you render such service in accordance with the technique of your own original endowments of mind, body, and soul. Your spirit unity implies two things, which always will be found to harmonize in the lives of individual believers. First, you are possessed with a common motive for life service. You all desire above everything to do the will of the Father in heaven. Second, You all have a common goal of existence. You all purpose to find the Father in heaven, thereby proving to the universe that you have become like him.
The apostles made great progress during their sojourn in Ephesus, but they were very much disappointed that Jesus would give them no suggestions about dealing with John's disciples. Even in the important matter of baptism, all that Jesus said was,
John did indeed baptize with water, but when you enter the kingdom of heaven, you shall be baptized with the Spirit.
On February 26, Jesus, his apostles, and a large group of followers journeyed down the Jordan to the ford near Bethany in Perea, the place where John the Baptist first made proclamation of the coming kingdom. Jesus with his apostles remained here, teaching and preaching for 4 weeks before they went on up to Jerusalem. The Master sought to impress upon all teachers of the gospel of the kingdom that their only business was to reveal God to the individual man as his Father. On their way up to Jerusalem near the end of March, they were overtaken by a delegation from Mesopotamia who had come to confer with Jesus. The apostles had planned to spend but a day in Jericho, but when these truth seekers from the east arrived, Jesus spent 3 days with them. On Monday, the last day of March, Jesus and the apostles began their journey up the hills toward Jerusalem. Lazarus of Bethany, who had befriended Jesus during his trip to Jerusalem in his 13th year, had been down to the Jordan twice to see Jesus, and every arrangement had been made for the Master and his apostles to make their headquarters with Lazarus and his 2 sisters as long as they might desire. The disciples of John remained at Bethany beyond the Jordan, teaching and baptizing the multitudes, so that Jesus was accompanied only by the 12 when he arrived at Lazarus' home. Here, Jesus and the apostles tarried for 5 days, resting and refreshing themselves before going to Jerusalem for the Passover. It was a great event in the lives of Martha and Mary to have the Master and his apostles staying in the home of their brother. On Sunday morning, April 6, Jesus and the apostles went down to Jerusalem, and this was the first time the Master and the 12 had been there together.
Our Father who is in heaven, hallowed be thy name, hallowed be thy name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our bread for tomorrow. Refresh our souls with the water of life. And forgive us every one of our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. Save us in temptation, deliver us from evil, and increasingly make us perfect, 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 like yourself.